As a wellness practitioner, you're dedicated to helping clients achieve vibrant health. You offer personalized nutrition plans, suggest lifestyle changes, create supplemental protocols to address complex symptoms. But what if the very foundation of this approach, to which we are largely taught in a lot of our functional medicine programs, is actually incomplete? What if, despite your best intentions, you're actually missing one of the single most important factors in modern chronic illness? Have you all heard of Gabor Mate? He's actually a physician, but he's written a lot of very popular books, does a lot of speaking on the topic of trauma. And I came across this quote from him the other day that I loved. It blew my mind, and I wanted to share it with you now. And it's this: the most prevalent health condition that medicine will face in the next decade is not a specific disease. It's the accumulation of trauma manifesting as chronic illness. And we couldn't agree more, but I would go as far as saying that this is actually not the future. The future is happening now. This is showing up in your work with clients, whether you or they realize it or not. So this statement is a powerful call to action to every practitioner in the industry. Chronic illness has become an epidemic, wouldn't you agree? And it's likely only going to continue to get worse. While we correctly point to increased exposure to toxins, stressors of all kinds, and the presence of more and more processed foods, these are often just triggers. But they're not actually root causes, which lie much deeper. It's often accumulated stress and unresolved trauma that dysregulate the nervous system and deplete our cellular energy, which then make us vulnerable hosts that manifests as chronic symptoms, diagnoses of any kind. This important video will explore the reasons why becoming trauma-informed is really no longer an optional specialty, but an essential skill for every practitioner and probably for every human who wants to facilitate true, lasting healing and stay relevant in a rapidly evolving industry. I'm Sarah. Welcome to Wellness Code Academy. To effectively address this issue, we must first expand our understanding of what trauma actually is. It isn't just about major life-threatening events like going to war, abuse, being in some major accident of some kind. As Dr. Mate explains, trauma is not about what happens to you, but about what happens inside of you as a result of what happens to you. It's the internal response to powerlessness, the disconnection from self, and the nervous system's inability to return to a state of safety, which it really needs to be in more often than not. And when the body holds this unresolved energy, it doesn't simply disappear or get better with time. It ultimately seeks expression, often manifesting itself as digestive issues, autoimmune conditions, chronic fatigue, hormonal imbalances, and the list goes on. And telling clients what to do or not to do to heal, even if you're using lab tests and getting a detailed health history for them, and so you are making your plan for their healing journey very personalized and holistic, ultimately, this can actually inadvertently reinforce the very feeling of powerlessness that contributed to their illness and health conditions in the first place. And we can actually continue to rob them of their agency and therefore continue to make their healing and recovery an uphill battle. Many well-meaning practitioners recognize the connection between stress, trauma, and somebody's health. However, the common methods that we're often taught in our training programs are often insufficient on their own. I know so many wellness practitioners that are taught that addressing things like unresolved trauma are beyond their scope of practice, and they should ultimately refer out, whether it be to a brain retraining program, an EMDR therapist, or even a talk therapist. And sending clients out is definitely a valid step, and I'm not saying we never do that. But it can create a disconnect if you are not skilled and informed in trauma yourself. The mind, being treated in one office while the body being treated, quote unquote, in another. This can just continue to reinforce a separation that doesn't exist in reality. But you're also going to run into a lot of clients who can't or won't seek out these tools for a variety of reasons. Oftentimes, practitioners teach somatic practices to their clients, thinking that it's the thing that's going to help them address their trauma. And giving clients breathing exercises or telling them to be more mindful, it's definitely helpful. But without the proper container, it's like patching a leaky dam. It doesn't actually address the underlying reasons for the dysregulation in the first place. And then there's the infamous providing our clients with protocols, handing over a detailed supplement and diet plan. And these things, again, can be helpful, but oftentimes, especially when we're using them on their own or when we're stepping into the role of expert, giving clients the steps of what to do, it may provide temporary relief, but it does not empower the clients to understand their body's unique signals or build resilience for when life inevitably gets stressful. So if you want to stand out and create profound change and avoid getting left behind, then you must not just learn about trauma and its existence, but how to actually work with it and support it, and how it's showing up in your own work and your life, but also your clients. Anything less risks causing unintended harm by invalidating a client's experience, pushing their systems beyond their capacities, or continuing to disempower them, which, like I said, is at the root of trauma in the first place. So let's go into the 5 pillars of a modern trauma-informed practice and what that might look like. Integrating trauma-informed care requires a shift from being an expert who fixes to a guide who knows how to empower clients to become their own best self-healers. It means learning to work with still both the physiology, yes, and the psychology, because we ultimately cannot heal one without the other. So here are the 5 essential pillars to build your practice on. Number 1, master the physiology of energy by using a hair tissue mineral analysis, also known as HTMA. Before the body can heal from anything, including trauma, it requires energy. And minerals are like the gas for your car. They're the spark plugs of life. They're essential for every metabolic process that generates energy. So a hair tissue mineral analysis is an invaluable tool that offers a window into this inner world, but only if you know how to use it to its fullest. An HTMA reflects the physical, mental, and emotional state of the body over time. We actually say it's much more than a lab test. It's actually a life test. It shows how chronic stress has impacted mineral balance and consequently cellular energy production. By learning to interpret and implement HTMA data, you can address the physiological foundation of healing. But you can also use it as an amazing coaching tool to help bring awareness to your clients, especially those who may deny the role of stress or trauma in their own lives. The data provides objective proof that their body is under strain, and therefore you can start having much deeper conversations with clients to help them move forward in their healing journey and be able to actually address the real root causes of their health challenges. Number 2, embrace a whole system approach. Everything is connected, and the client's ability to heal from trauma is directly impacted by their nutrition, their gut health, their daily habits, and potential underlying infections. A trauma-informed practitioner understands and is very skilled in this intricate web. You must learn to look beyond single symptoms and address the entire system. How is their digestive health affecting neurotransmitter production? Is a hidden infection contributing to inflammation and nervous system activation? Adopting this whole body, whole system perspective allows you to support the body's healing capacity on all fronts, creating a more stable foundation for the deeper emotional work. Number 3, develop dynamic transformational coaching skills. I know when I first started out in this industry, I spent a lot of time and money going through functional medicine practitioners, but the number one thing I felt was missing when I left was I didn't know how to actually coach. So the era of the practitioner as the sole authority telling clients what to do or not to do is over. True transformation happens when clients feel seen, heard, and understood. And this requires moving away from prescribing to actually partnering with your clients. Dynamic coaching skills involves learning how to ask effective questions. Instead of just providing answers, ask questions that spark insight, creates aha moments, and guides clients to their own conclusions and solutions. Listen more than you talk. Hold space for your client's story and experience without any judgment. Your role is ultimately to become their thinking partner. Foster self-discovery. Help clients connect the dots between their life experiences and their physical symptoms, empowering them to see patterns for themselves. We are so much more likely as humans to take action on something when we had and played a pivotal role in coming up with the action. Number 4, co-create the healing journey. Empowerment is the antidote to the powerlessness of trauma. The most effective way to foster empowerment is to work with your clients in a co-creative fashion. Stop working on your clients and start working with them. Put your clients in the pilot seat of their own healing journey, and you are just the co-pilot, offering maps and tools and expertise, but they ultimately make the final decision. This collaboration allows them to build self-trust and develop the crucial skills of self-efficacy. They learn to listen to their bodies, adapt to challenges, and become active participants in their own wellness. Number 5 is often a very missed aspect, and that is you as a practitioner must do your own work. As Jen and I always say, you are your own best first client. You cannot guide a client to a place that you have not been willing to go yourself. And so many practitioners out there, I have these conversations with them and they feel like hypocrites because they struggle to do the work themselves. Your own unresolved trauma, your triggers and biases will inevitably show up in your work and may actually negatively impact your client's ability to heal. If you haven't addressed your own history, you may unconsciously project it onto your clients, become easily dysregulated by their stories, or lack the capacity to hold a truly safe space for them to be able to heal. Doing your own work is not a sign of weakness. It's actually a mark of a mature and ethical practitioner. So many practitioners come to us saying that they feel like hypocrites because they struggle with their own health. And so being able to share the messiness of healing with your clients, being able to share your own experiences and realize that the ups and downs of the healing journey and the challenges that we all face is just part of being human. It's an ongoing commitment to self-awareness that actually allows you to show up better for your own clients with more clarity, compassion, and presence. Other people feel that and connect with that, and that's only going to make you a more sought-after practitioner. The wellness industry is at a critical juncture. The old model is failing to meet the complex needs of our clients. By embracing a truly holistic, trauma-informed approach, you're not just adding a new tool to your toolbox. You are fundamentally upgrading your ability to facilitate healing. You are answering the call to address the real epidemic of our time and positioning yourself as a leader in the future of health and wellness. And so if you are ready to accept that as your role, then I encourage you to check out our links below to see how you can get started today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.